Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast episode. Welcome to Reflection by Abia. My name is Abia Grant. Welcome. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. At the time of recording this, it is Saturday. It is the 23rd. Looking here at my computer and it is raining. It is raining, but we're making the best of it. I am sitting right here in front of my window in my room, and I'm just looking outside and just taking in the energy, although it is raining. But as they say, when it rains, eventually it'll dry up, and then, we'll have like flowers and blooming and all the rest of those things. So that's just a part of life. But I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. Guys, last week I forgot to do the intro for the podcast episode, so I apologize for that. I was editing the podcast and I was like, girl, you just totally forgot to do the intro. So sorry about that and everything, but it was a good episode. So let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode, guys. Let's actually let me talk about how I'm feeling this week. I always like to start there before I get into the actual episode. This week was interesting week. I had a short week. I didn't actually go into work until Tuesday because Monday I was sick. I actually caught food poisoning this week between last week Saturday and Monday. So I was actually out of work. So that gave me time to get some um I guess you could say relaxation on because Monday I was actually able to watch some movies and just chill, even though I wasn't feeling 100%. But we're feeling much better now that I guess you could say cycle has passed and everything. And as far as the rest of the week, it's just been the hustle and bustle of going to work, and just dealing with life. But life has been relatively okay this week. I guess, nothing crazy or anything like that. So I hope, that your week has been prosperous. I hope that whatever you try to accomplish this week, as I like to mention in all my other podcast episodes, that you were able to do. And whatever goals that you weren't able to hit or whatever that you're trying to work on, that you just continue that into the next week. But let's go ahead and get into the episode now. This topic is true, and all topics are true, and I guess you could say dear to my heart. But this one really hits home, because this is something that I guess you could say started the I want to say started the cycle of figuring out something was wrong with my mental thinking and mental space. Okay. Um, so this topic I wanted to talk about is how to get in touch with your inner self. And when I say inner self, I mean feeling that you actually care about yourself and that you love your inner self. And I feel that you can't really get in touch with your inner self if you do not value yourself, if you do not care about yourself, if you do not love yourself. I think that we think because of the different achievements or goals that we set for ourselves that were successful, that this is touching our inner self, this is valuing our inner self. But I feel like honestly, it really starts with loving who you are, you know. Um, And I feel like sometimes we do not love who we are due to the things that have happened in our lives, whether it be people, whether it be something that just in our own mental state that's not going well. It could be due to your environment. It could be due to so many circumstances. And like I said, people think that they love themselves and then they realize that everything that's going on around them is meaning nothing because they're not enjoying who they are, you know. And I feel again, enjoyment for who you are, it has to start there and it's very important. So when I say loving yourself, just to get more into, definition of what I feel it is, and I wrote down a couple of bullet points, is appreciating yourself, seeing yourself in a positive light, trusting yourself, having hope in yourself, feeling empowered in yourself. I feel it's even more than these bullet points, but I'm pulling out these particular phrases because this is something that I feel personally that I've had to work on. I've had to work on appreciating who I am. And when I'm saying appreciating who I am, I'm meaning the good, the bad, and ugly. Because I think a lot of times people like to focus on appreciate yourself for the good. No, appreciate yourself for the bad as well, too, for the simple fact is that that is just who you are. Nine times out of 10, I will hope that that is something that you're working to do better. And even if it's something good, maybe you can, if even though it's a good situation, maybe it took you a while to get to where you want to get to. So maybe you could do something better about it. So when I say appreciating yourself, I mean valuing again yourself no matter what, comes out of you. I guess that would be the perfect way that I can explain that. Now, seeing yourself in a positive light is seeing that you value, that you see yourself in a good space, that you're not dimming your light because of the circumstances that is in your environment. And because I feel again for me, it's like I I tend to dim my light in the past because I felt that, well, if I don't have the same achievements as so and so, whoever, nine times out of 10 is related to people. For me, your situation may be different, but I feel that for me, I felt if I wasn't on the same wavelength as that individual, then I would dim my light you know and I feel like when you dim your light or you don't see yourself in the positive space, that affects your day to day, because you are constantly questioning your movements. You're constantly looking at what other people are doing and saying, well, they're doing X, Y, and Z. So why, what about me? I'm not good enough. All those things fall into play. It even more than, that in what I'm saying right now. And it's like we have to see ourselves as, again, valued. And I know I keep relating it to value, but I feel like it always comes back to that. I feel that we have to see ourselves in that we are created and our light shines no matter what. You know, I feel like God created us with different parts. Like nobody is the same. And he put light in all of us, and it's for us to see that light, it's for us to, I want to say, my nose is running, so I apologize, guys. I want to say that we have to see ourselves as necessary. That would be the perfect way for me to explain that. So let's go ahead and get into the next thing. Trust yourself. Trusting yourself in the decisions that you're making. Trusting yourself that people and or in your environment or whatever may be in front of you, that you are bringing in good energy and you're trusting the environment that you're in. You're trusting the decisions that you're making. And then I'm not saying that every day is going to be okay. You're going to feel best about your decision, but you are gun ho jumping into it, or you are seeing that there could be a positive outcome. And even if there isn't a positive outcome, you went full fledged and got into it because I'm talking about trust, but you understand that this is what is necessary for you. Like understanding that I'm trying to find the perfect sentence or perfect way to explain it. When I trust myself, for me, it's like I feel like I don't have to waver. Even even though my surroundings and people around me may say, well, you know, you should do this. Because 9 times out of 10 is related to, again, a situation. Um, Even if somebody else is saying you should do this, I'm saying, you know what? I trust that the way that I'm doing this is going to work best for me. Because again, at the end of the day, that outcome is going to impact you. Or it may impact your family as well too. But if you don't trust yourself with yourself, I always feel like, how is other people supposed to trust you? How are you supposed to move in the world? I mean, are you supposed to take the suggestions of other people and trust them fully? I mean, I don't know about that. I just, for me, not everybody is doing things in the right way. So we can't sit here and do what that person is always telling us to do, because it may not pour back into you in a positive way, you know. So you'll have to trust yourself in regards to that you're making the best decision for you. So let's talk about the next bullet point. Have hope. Having hope means that you're seeing that this, again, situation, 9 times out of 10, it relates to that this will be prosperous, that you're putting your faith into it, that you're seeing that. And I apologize, my stomach is just growling right now. It's early in the morning. Me recording this podcast episode, so I don't know if you guys heard that, but I heard it. But having hope that whatever you're putting your effort into, related to trust as well too, that all is going to work in a positive light. Again, related to bullet point number 2. You see how all these things are related to each other? It's like you have to build each step. You have to work at each thing in order to reach the top. It's like you can't start at level number 1 and think you're going to jump to level number 5. No, you gotta go through the movement. You gotta go through the motions in order to reach that next, you know, thing. So let's talk about feeling empowered. Feeling empowered in your decisions. Feeling again that this is the best avenue for yourself, whatever it may be. Whether it's related to work, whether it's related to family, whether it's related to whatever it may be. There's different ways that you can feel empowered. I can't remember all of them right now, having this conversation with you guys in this podcast episode, but feeling that this is what I need to do. Again, like I said, related to having hope. related to trusting yourself, related to positive light, related to appreciating yourself. The fact of the matter is that if you're not feeling empowered, that means that, and the way you're leading, and I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say this, and the way you're leading in weakness, you're navigating towards weakness. And why should you feel that you're weak? you know, Especially if you know that you've been moving in such a good space. Why should you feel weak at the end? No, you should feel empowered at the end because you know that you've done all the necessary work in order to reach where you want to be. That's the way that I look at it for me. Your situation may be different, but this is how I look at it for me. So let's go ahead and get into the next, I guess you could say part of this conversation. So, so how can you transform your behavior to change your attitude? And I put here that ties into getting in touch with your inner self. Because again, I'm talking about the tools in order to work on to get to inner self. Because I feel like again, you can't just jump into touching your inner self, knowing your inner self if you haven't worked on the necessary tools from before. So everything again is a build up. It's a step by step process. Not let's fly through it and we supposedly going to reach this goal. Because it's like you're never going to understand the necessary tools that you need to be there. You know, you're not. And then you're going to fall back into the same space that you were before of not valuing yourself. Because again, I just feel like it always comes back to that. And then you're going to see that things are not going to work the way that you want it to work because you're not moving in the way that you need to be moving. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So, I have here the first bullet point. Limit the complaining. If you wouldn't say negative comments to someone else, don't say it to yourself. Take responsibility. Change what is possible. So when I say limit complaining, I mean that don't sit here and negatively talk about yourself or negatively talk about the situation. This is the situation that's in front of you. What are you going to do about it to fix it? What are you going to do about it to reach your goal? What are you going to do about it? Do you need to talk to somebody else? Do you need to sit down and gather information? Do you need to freaking take a walk? What do you need to do in order to make this situation better? Because complaining about the situation is not resolving the situation. What you're doing is that you are feeding into that situation. That's what you're doing. So, and I'm not trying to be mean in regards to saying that you shouldn't feel bad. Yeah, we're human. We're going to feel bad. But it gets to a point where it's like, okay, this is what it is. How are we going to correct that? Let's think about it with finances. People want to say, okay, I want to save money, but yet you in the stores 25 billion times. You're spending on your money here, spending on your money there. But you complaining that you don't have enough money. Why? Because maybe you're not putting your stuff in the right places that it needs to be. So you can't complain about the situation you're in financially if you're not doing the necessary work in order to get yourself out of the situation, right? I mean, that's the way that I look at it. Let's move to the next bullet point. If you want to say negative comments to someone else, don't say it to yourself. Oh, God, this one is so big for me. I would constantly put myself down, constantly put myself down, and a lot of times it was in my head. I wasn't verbalizing it to other people. I even did it to myself this week. I actually started to record actually not a podcast episode. I started to record a YouTube video And when I say I was negatively putting information out there, deleted the clips. Said, no, 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 no. Why are you talking about yourself in this way? If you are trying to lead in a positive light and you want, and I'm not saying everything is hunky dory all the time and everything is moving in the best possible way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you cannot expect for your situation to change. You cannot expect to feel better about yourself if you're talking negative to yourself. Again, you're feeding into the complaining. You're feeding into the negative spirit. No, we're not doing that. So I deleted the clips. I deleted them because I was like, no, this is not how we moving in this situation. This is not this is this is not in alignment with me. I knew that I was in that spirit, so I said, you know what, we're not going to record right now. We're not going to record until I can work on how I'm feeling right now so that I can project a positive light to people. Because if I'm projecting nothing but sadness, how am I going to make my the people who watch me, how would I make them feel? And I'm not saying that every single thing on my YouTube channel is positive light. I talk about everything. But that right there, that was that wasn't good. So I was like, nope. But take responsibility. Take responsibility for I want to say take responsibility for your actions. And take responsibility just point blank and simple. We like to sit here and complain about who did what and this and that and feed into all the we like to feed into what a lot of times other people do, or we feel the outcome happened this particular way because I don't know, I related to a situation, but because everything that I feel like these bullet points are is situation based, but we are not taking accountability for the part that we've played in the situation. And we are just seeing only what others may have done or in our environment and or whatever. No, like I think about it with my job, my old job, and how I left and everything. I When I left, I was stressed. I moved in such a way in which in my prior job, I was constantly bombarding myself with work and constantly saying, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. Now, at the end, I left. You guys know I left my job, but when I left, I was in a space of saying, well, this situation happened due to that person. Yeah, part of it was them, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a one way thing. It wasn't a one-way situation. You were in it as well too. So you need to take responsibility for the part that you played, what you have allowed to happen. You know, you can't sit here and I talk about myself. You can't sit here and cry me, 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 and not take responsibility for the part that you've had in that situation. You can't. You can't. So let's move on to the next one. Change what is possible. I feel like this is very important as well too. If it's something that you are playing a part in that you can fix, do it. Do it for the simple fact that one is going to pour back into a positive space. Do it because it's the right thing to do. I think again, let's talk about the finances again. We want to save money. How do we save money? We change our attitude with money. We budget. Doesn't mean, oh yeah, you can't spend on luxuries and all other things. No, we just say, hey, I'm a budget. Like for me, I put, and I know so some people may be a little bit of money, but my goal this year is to save 750 for retirement. So I'm allocating $15 every pay period as a recurring deduction from my checking account to put towards my savings account without me having to think about it. I'm going to change my attitude with how I'm dealing with money and make it happen because that is what I want. I have control over that part. You know what I mean? I do. So change what you can what part you can play. And I know I'm repeating myself, but whatever part that you can play, change what is possible. So let's go ahead and get into the next category. How can you connect to your inner self? Check in with your inner self. How are you feeling? For instance, are you going to need to pause something in your life because it's going to put you into a stressful place? Learn your body, what your body needs, whether relaxing, movement, maybe your body wants to just be erratic. Like for me yesterday, I was feeling very, how can I say? I don't want to say, I was just feeling like life was moving and I wasn't really enjoying life. I just, I don't know what it was. So what I did is on my way home on the train, I just put on music and I danced and I bopped and probably people were looking at me. I didn't care because I needed that for my body. I needed that to connect to my inner self. That's what I needed. I needed to feel good energy, good vibes. I put on R&B. I was dancing. I was not like full fledged out here dancing, but bopping and singing the songs and just in the vibe, just in the vibe. Because I was like, I need to remove this cloud that's over me. It's Friday. I'm coming home to my husband. I need to walk in that door and I just need to feel good. I need to feel good. And for me, music is how I deal with my inner energy, you know. So, find your voice, speak up for yourself, whether to yourself or others. So let's go back over just a couple of these bullet points here. Checking on your inner self just means that you are seeing what is necessary in order for you to feel good, speaking affirmations to yourself, seeing how you feel in the morning, seeing if maybe you need to relax that day, seeing if maybe you need to call out that day because you need a me day, whatever it may be. You're checking in. Just the fact of the matter is, you feel like you're no good to yourself and you're no good to the world out there if you're not good. And I think that we get so used to, okay, we got to go to work, we got to get this check, we got to do this, we got to do that. No, what's the point? Because the only thing that's going to lead to is a stressful environment. Only thing that's going to lead to is anxiety. We're trying to avoid this. So we gotta do what we gotta do now in order to make sure that we don't get to this situation. I feel like the weight of the world is on us. Because the world is telling us the society is telling us we gotta work hard, we gotta work hard, we gotta work hard, we gotta do this, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. What about me? What about pouring into me? Oh, I gotta pour into me first before I pour into anything else. So, how you feeling? But for instance, you're going to need to pause something in your life because it's going to put you in a stressful situation or a stressful place. Again, I speak about this before, as I said in the last bullet point. If it's not in alignment with you, and I'm not saying avoid the situation, but what I'm saying is maybe that you need to put whatever on a pause. Maybe you need to say, okay, I can't deal with this right this second, so therefore I'm going to put it here. Doesn't mean I'm going to forget about it, but I'll pull it back out a little bit later on. And I'll focus on that a little bit later on, because you know that your energy is not right to deal with the situation. Maybe in that period of time, you will find better avenues in order to deal with it. Who knows? So that's just something that, just to think about is how are you feeling? Ask yourself that. Ask myself that every day. Every day. Ask my husband, how you doing? How you feeling? Or I tried to every day. I already spoke about learn your body. I spoke about movement. I spoke about relaxing. I spoke about dancing, one of the things that I do. And the last bullet point I have here is find your voice. Speak up for yourself, whether to yourself or others. Meaning that don't sit here and move the way that is not going to feel good. Don't sit here and put others first or situation first. Speak up for yourself. Sorry, my finger was covering my mouth. Speak up for yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need? And you tell people, this is what I need. Only thing they can say is no. That's the worst that can happen. But at the end of the day, being silent is not worth it, my opinion. And I think also that leads into fear. Sometimes we don't want to speak up for ourselves for the fear of what the response may be, or what the response may be to ourselves. We fear our own thoughts. But I feel like, again, if we value ourselves, if we feel empowered, if we have hope, if we have all these things, this part will be easy, I think. But if you haven't worked on those from before, the steps from before, finding your voice is going to be kind of, eh, it's going to be an obstacle for you. So, yeah, yeah, guys, this is all a working progress. So I have here, understand that in order for your inner self and spirit to thrive, you must advocate for yourself, to yourself. And I spoke about that before, of finding your voice. Only you can, only you can want what you want. Nobody else is, you know, nobody else truly wants what you want but you. Yes, you may have family, friends, husbands, and things like that, but you know you. Advocate for yourself. Push for yourself. Want for yourself. That's the only way that's going to work. Because if you're not, and you're not advocating for yourself, then yeah, I don't know about that now. Again, that's a tough place to be. I've been there and done that. I'm not going back there. Abia Grant is not going back there. Nope. 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 So guys, I want to go ahead and close out this week podcast episode. And I want to do the quote for this week. And I found this quote on Life Hack. It's daily motivation quote. It is read here, or I'm going to read it to you guys, is you are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. I'm gonna go ahead and read that one more time. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. So that means that you're constantly working on improving yourself. But there may be parts in your journey in which you're trying to you could there's parts of your life where you know that you've found the right way to move. You found all the tricks of the trade, as they say. You found it, right? But There could be parts of your life in which you don't have all the pieces yet, but you're working in order to get the pieces together. And let's be honest with you guys. Let me be honest with you guys. There may be a point in your life in which the pieces that you got before, you thought those were the pieces. Then you realize later on in life, those pieces don't fit anymore. So therefore, you have to find new pieces. That can happen as well too, guys. My stomach is really growling. Just hearing it right now. I promise, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and eat after this podcast episode. But yeah, you thought you had it. You thought you had the answers, and then you realized, nah, buddy, I didn't have it. Or I thought that was the answer, but that doesn't fit anymore. So therefore, I gotta find some new solutions in order to get where I need to get. Guys, I'm telling you, this life, this journey in life, it is a interesting. It is interesting. It's very, very, very interesting. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the podcast episode here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. I've truly, I feel like this was one of the best episodes ever. So I hope that you guys do enjoy this, and you've gained something out of it because I know that I have. And yeah, so stay blessed out there in those streets, guys. Make sure that you treat others kindly out there in those streets. And God willing, I will see you guys in the next episode. All right, talk to you later.